Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends, big K-pop stans, discuss the latest in film and television, and then do it all over again the following episode after they've repeatedly watched K-pop Demon Hunters for the I don't want to keep too many. I don't want to reveal how many times I've watched it, but either way, my name is Colton Brown, and joining me, it's Mr. Andrew Meadows.
Joining me is my little soda pop.
My little soda pop. That's right. We've been infected by the infectious tunes of one K-pop Demon Hunters. There's
some bangers.
I mean, there are some bangers. We'll talk about it. We will definitely talk about it. Maybe we'll sing some. Hopefully we'll restrain ourselves on that front. I don't know the lyrics well enough. Plus, they threw the little Korean in there, and I'm like, well, I definitely don't know those parts. So that helps limit the singing potential for me anyway. Yeah, this is a big one. It's the big one before the big one, really. This is episode 299, if you can believe it. Can you believe that we are nearly to 300 episodes of Watch, Review, Repeat?
It's a lot of episodes, a lot of content.
And if you were like keeping score, keeping tabs, would you have guessed that K-pop Demon Hunters would have been episode 299?
I don't think I would have
that on your scorecard, right?
No, I wouldn't have even guessed that a month ago.
I don't think I would have either. In fact, I think it was probably roughly around a month or so ago, maybe even longer, that we sat down to talk a movie called The Fantastic Four: First Steps, and we had a special guest on it, and Mr. Enrique Jaime, who told us all about the world of K-pop Demon Hunters. And at the time, I had heard a little bit about it. I hadn't watched it at that time. But this movie's been on Netflix for a while, but man, as I'll get into with my fun fact in a little while, it's kind of taken the world by storm in a big, big way. And yeah, so it kind of just felt like, well, maybe we can be hip, we could be cool. We're old men. We're two grown men that are, getting increasingly older, every day that passes.
Day. Yeah.
But we could see what, the kids are into these days. We can try that out. We can see how that goes. And so, yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters, it fills a little bit of a void. It's an easy hour and a half kind of thing to watch at home on a streaming platform. But maybe there's something to talk about. Maybe there's some certified bangers. All right, we can say that. We can say that now. We'll still talk about it later, but we can still say it now. But I'm really curious to hear your take on K-pop Demon Hunters. So we're gonna get into it in a little while. Something of note. I mean, and I'll say this probably at the end of the episode as well. I guess really two things of note. This is kind of the end of an era for Watch, Review, Repeat. In some ways.
Right.
Because when we hit 300, we're going to be doing a big milestone episode. Anyone that listened to the end of our 28 years later episode, which, by the way, what a wild fucking swing going from that movie to this movie. I don't know if those were I guess technically you would have watched K-pop maybe before 28 years. I don't know what the sequence was there.
Before.
But it might have been. I don't know if it was the most immediate movie prior to that. I had some space because I watched 28 Years a while back, but certainly talking about it, reliving it a little bit that way, and then jumping into this as one of the next movies I saw. As the next movie we're covering, it's Whiplash.
Sure.
It is pure Whiplash. Yeah, 299. We're doing 300. As I said at the end of the 28 Years episode, that's where I lost my train of thought for a second. We're doing our 5 favorite directors, in the same style that we've done our 5 favorite films with episode 100 and our 5 favorite television shows with episode 200. We decided that we would do our 5 favorite directors for episode 300, and so maybe we've been doing some homework on that front. I can neither confirm nor deny, but it'll be a fun one. But I think more importantly, Andrew and I, we've, sometimes we talk outside of the podcast. This may be shocking news to some, but we've kind of settled on this idea of maybe retooling the podcast for the future, and we haven't really talked about this a lot. Maybe hinted at it, I guess, maybe a little bit. I can't remember specifically. But starting with episode 301, we're gonna kind of retool the podcast to, I think, make it a little bit more Well, I think number one, to make it easier on ourselves, I think really is probably the biggest goal with what we're going to be doing with the pod. But number two, I think the healthy results of that is it will make it a lot more palatable for, I think, our listeners. And so I think it'll be good for everyone. I think it'll be a really good positive change for everyone. So we're not going to get into the details of that just yet. We'll talk about that maybe either the end of 300 or the beginning of 301, set the stage so everyone kind of knows what's going on.
Right.
But we're just changing things up a little bit. It's not going to be a radical shakeup or anything like that. Still going to be the two of us with occasional guests and all that. But I think it'll be a good, as I said, I think it'll be a good positive change for everyone. For us, mentally, physically, I think for our listeners, probably actually mentally and physically as well, to be honest. So, so that's my tease for the future. So again, K-Pop Demon Hunters, man, we are marking the end of an era, with episode 299 here, which, again, not on my scorecard of what I thought we might, close out this chapter, this season of Watch Review Repeat,
right.
If you will. So, with that said, this episode's going to be kind of the usual. It's going to be the usual. Don't worry. We've still got some dad jokes, fun facts, headlines, trailers, movie to talk about. Maybe some other movies if we've watched anything else. But this is going to be the usual. The usual. So
I don't know. I feel like the dad joke is unusually
oh boy. Unusually hilarious.
Hilarious, absolutely.
Punny.
Unusually
Okay.
hilarious.
All right.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
A little old lady.
Little old lady who was I supposed to do that?
Wow, I didn't know you could yodel.
I feel like I've heard that one before, to be fair.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't expect that. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I am a very talented man, as it turns out.
Well, you got the dad joke. That's a good one. All right.
Good fun.
That was actually much better than I thought it was going to be.
No, that went quite well. I think that was a pleasant change of pace from me. I think I don't think it was the last one. It might have been the one before, where I was just deadpan, like, "Oh, you told me something," and I was supposed to laugh, and I was like, "Oh, I missed the joke," because I was so preoccupied thinking about what do I say?
That was a bad one.
Yeah, that was a rough one, but we keep them all in there, even if we make ourselves look like asses. It's hopefully for the benefit of others, maybe they get a laugh or two out of it. So hopefully people liked my yodeling, which, as I said, I'm
pretty impressive.
I'm a very talented man. Well, I'm so talented that not only can I yodel, but I can also offer our listeners and Mr. Meadows a fun fact concerning K-Pop Demon Hunters. And it's a fun fact that is very fun and is probably actually relatively known to anyone that is listening to this episode and knows a thing or two about K-Pop Demon Hunters. But as two men in their 30s who, may not outwardly appear to be the target audience for this movie, for the people like us that are like, what the fuck is this shit? Maybe I can teach you something a little bit about it, and maybe we can just convert you if we think it's appropriate to do so. Okay. Not to tip my hand too much. K-Pop Demon Hunters is the most watched original title in Netflix history.
Holy
266 million views as of the Wikipedia article today. This is a film, by the way, that came out June 20th of 2025. We are recording this early September. So, a few months. It's been a few months. But it is doing gangbusters on Netflix. And that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's surpassed Red Notice as the most watched film on Netflix, a film that I did not watch. Funnily enough,
I don't know anything about that.
And in fact, I looked at it's the one with The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
I remember when that came out.
I'm sure we covered the trailers and thought, oh boy, 2021 film. Not even our post-COVID times were we desperate enough to watch that. There's a lot of movies on this Netflix, most popular Netflix movies list that I have not watched. In fact, I think I've now seen 2, including K-pop. So I'm just going to run down the list because it's kind of fun to be like, holy shit, how many people watch this? So running down the list, Carry On got a lot of views, many millions of views. Don't Look Up, which is the other one that I have seen.
That's the one
Adam
with,
Project.
What's his space, right?
Don't Look Up was Leo.
That's it.
Jennifer Lawrence and many other big names. The Adam Project, number 5. That's another Ryan Reynolds one where he's like a dad, but then it's like a kid, but it's himself, or something like that.
I remember when it came out. I never watched it.
Yeah, Bird Box, Sandra Bullock. Never
watched that one.
Back in Action, Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. That actually came out this year, and I don't know anything about it. Leave the World Behind. I know we talked about the trailer for that. That was a Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, and Ethan Hawke one from a couple years ago. The Gray Man, Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Russo brothers directed one. And then finally, Damsel. Millie Bobby Brown fights a dragon or something.
Those are the most watched movies?
Those are the most watched movies on Netflix, which again, I think maybe just shows, generally speaking, man, Netflix makes some shit. But sometimes maybe they're okay. I don't know. They could be okay. TV side of things, just while we're here, Squid Game Wednesday. Squid Game is on the list 3 separate times, which I think is sort of cheating, but seasons 1, 2, and 3 all make the cut. But in addition to Squid Game Wednesday, Adolescence, Stranger Things, Dahmer Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, terrible fucking title, Bridgerton, The Queen's Gambit, also Bridgerton again, and Money Heist. So those are your most watched original Netflix programs. But yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters tops it all. That's the fun fact. It tops it all with 200 plus million views. We're going to, it's a Netflix movie, but God damn it, man, we're going to have a box office breakdown later because some notes to be sung on that front as well. Maybe some things to say about the film's soundtrack and how maybe successful or not successful it's become. I don't know. It's a big fucking deal, man. So I think that the fact that we're covering it is us just embracing the times, accepting things, as they come to us. We don't have to be resistant to things that are popular just because, we want to be hipsters and we're cool, man. Like, it's okay for things to be popular, and it's okay for us to, try to be relevant and stick with the times and weigh in on stuff like this. We certainly try to do it with theatrical releases. So,
it's true.
From time to time, maybe we should do it with streaming movies too. Especially because it means Andrew doesn't have to go to a theater to watch it.
Boom.
Although
I didn't know I could have. I didn't know that.
It was a limited window that you would have had, and also it was the sing-along version, so I'm not sure you would have wanted to.
I am not the target audience for that, no.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, we'll talk about all that a little bit later. First, we got to talk some headlines, then some trailers. But right now, some headlines, if you're ready.
Let's do it. Dive right in.
All right. We've got a couple new films that have been announced. So starting on the Walt Disney Animation Studios side of things, a new movie called Hexed is coming fall of 2026. Disney revealed it at some sort of presentation they did, like a pseudo D23, but I think not the full D23 thing that they do sometimes. They revealed that this movie's coming out. They showed off a logo treatment. It's about an awkward teenage boy and his type A mom who discover that what makes him unusual might just be magical powers that will turn their lives in a secret world of magic upside down. What do you think about that? Does that do anything for you?
I feel like I've seen this trailer somewhere. Maybe it was at the movie theaters?
I don't think they put out a trailer for it yet, which maybe just makes it sound like a Disney movie then.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. Give me a trailer. I could have swore I saw something on it. I don't know. Maybe.
No, it's possible.
But give me a trailer. I'll take an animated Disney thing.
Yeah, so it's a directorial debut for Josie Trinidad, who worked on some prior Disney things that include The Princess and the Frog. She's a story artist on that. Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, and then worked on the stories for Zootopia and Ralph Breaks the Internet. So yeah, there's that. And then also co-directed by Jason Hand. And Jason Hand, in addition to having a pretty cool name, looks like he's also a frequent Disney person, directed Moana 2.
Okay.
Animation on Encanto, Zootopia, Big Hero 6. So, and it looks like Moana 2 was his directorial debut, and I think he co-directed with a couple others. So yeah, you're getting some Disney alums kind of, moving up the ranks, bringing us some sort of animated shit. So, Disney usually does pretty good. So I figure I included it here, because we're doing an animated movie. A little bit of synergy helps, especially because we got some trailers that don't fit that synergy. But and also because I don't know. By the time this comes out, Baby B might want to be Hexed. I don't know. You might be taking some theater trips at some point. I think Nolan might be a little too young at that point potentially still. But
yeah, we did Benedict right when he turned 2. We haven't been back since, but I don't think there's been any movie theaters or I don't think there's been any movies in theaters for me to take Benedict 2.
Yeah, not anything that stuck out to me. But anyway, maybe Hexed is an option come fall of 2026. So that's what we've got on that front. Now moving on to something a little bit more exciting for me personally, perhaps for you, we'll see. James Gunn has announced a film called Man of Tomorrow. The film is called Man of Tomorrow. It's going to hit theaters July 9th of 2027. It is the next project in his Superman saga. So it is not necessarily Superman 2. And I think we sort of talked about this even when we talked about Superman, on its own episode, that he was already kind of working on something that was going to be a follow-up without being a strict sequel. So the announcement was made with the release date, and he put up a picture of Lex Luthor in like the green and purple power armor that he sometimes wears in the comics. With Superman as well. So we don't really know a whole lot beyond that, other than James Gunn, the crazy son of a bitch, obviously wrote and directed Superman. I think wrote every episode of Peacemaker season 2, which is currently airing, and he's already finished the treatment for this. And his treatments are like basically pseudo scripts from what he's said in the past. Is like, you fill in some dialogue, but otherwise it's more or less a completed story, script, and everything. So he's got an incredible work ethic. He's on that Brandon Sanderson shit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He takes a break from writing to write other things.
Yeah. So it's really quite impressive that this is seemingly coming together so quickly. Obviously, we have a lot of DC stuff to look forward to in the nearer future, including Supergirl next year, Clayface next year, Lanterns, the TV show Peacemaker, as I said, currently airing. But I think the craziest thing of this all is that this movie will technically arrive in theaters before the Batman 2.
That's nuts.
It will arrive the same year and like a couple months before the Batman 2 is expected to arrive, now that has a completed script and should be entering production next year from what we hear. But yeah, what do you think? You excited for Man of Tomorrow? Anything you might want to see out of that? Are you just happy to go along with whatever James Gunn's got for you? I'd like to see Lex
Luthor in power arm, purple.
Well, it kind of feels like it would be a fucking hollow promise to put up that image and not pay it off, right?
Yeah. I to be honest with you, when he pops out a movie.
When James Gunn poops, I'm here for it. He's so good. He's a master of his craft.
That's right.
Even his shits are great.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
No, he really nailed Superman in ways that
for sure.
I don't necessarily think I was expecting. So more of that is definitely welcome. So very excited.
I would concur with that sentiment. He's got his finger on the pulse. I haven't watched any of the newest season of Peacemaker. I do want to, but we're kind of in the midst of, well, as I said, doing a lot of prep for episode 300, but also a bunch of other shit airing on TV that I also want to watch. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But I do want to get around to it because I'm just endlessly fascinated with how full on James Gunn. I mean, I get it. It's the man's job at this point. He's co-running DC, but it's the fact that he's doing so much himself.
Very hands-on.
Creatively in terms of writing, directing. Like, it's very impressive. And then obviously on top of kind of managing this universe, obviously with help too, but it's really cool to see someone so creative, not just, leading the charge, but like leading the charge by being on the front lines kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's obviously very passionate, which is,
which goes a long way, obviously.
Yeah, it translates into the craft. You know what I mean? You can feel it in the movies. So, yeah, good for him, dude. I'm excited about what he's got going on. He's
gone from thinking his career was over, with some rude tweets resurfacing to, kind of owning things. I mean, quite the impressive turnaround.
That's how you do it.
In the midst of that, he's still delivered, obviously, a very successful Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. So, man. He's been crushing it of late, that's for sure. All right, so Man of Tomorrow is going to hit theaters July 9th, 2027, just to reiterate that. And that's our headlines. We have 5 trailers to talk about, starting with Zootopia 2, which we have a full trailer for. This is going to hit theaters November 26th. Of course, it's following up Zootopia 1, which came out like a fucking decade ago at this point. It's been a long time. I think they did a TV show on Disney Plus a few years back, which I definitely didn't watch. But that first movie is a banger. I don't know if that's one of those like things you like put up, now that you have small children running around, or I guess crawling around or whatever. I don't know. Are you?
Yeah, I've seen Zootopia many times.
Okay.
And
right. It's been
watched,
in the rotation.
The Zootopia little shows on Disney Plus
on
too.
Disney. Okay, yeah. So you've watched more Zootopia than I have at this point, because I haven't seen this movie in a while. How you feeling about Zootopia 2 based on this trailer?
This looks great. I'm 110% here for that. Bennett likes Zootopia. It's one of those ones that can kind of keep him dialed in for a little bit. Between the hours of 8 and 9. If we're not watching like Blippi or some of the other schlocky shit that somehow he finds. He finds he's gotten to not get in the weeds, but he's gotten into the habit of we'll hop on Netflix and we'll start scrolling, and he'll go, Dad, he'll say kitty or rawr or whatever, you know what I mean, and start pointing and then you ignore it or whatever. No, and he points and points and points, and it just happens to be like the most the cheapest it's like the cheapest poorly animated like Chinese AI made shit on Netflix. You know what I mean? It's just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And
so your child has no taste, is what you're saying.
Yes, very poor taste. So that's something that we have to, we got to, it's constant struggle to find decent kid stuff to watch. But he does like Zootopia, and this trailer looks this looks exceptionally well animated. It looks very nice.
Yeah, very nice, very colorful. Fun world, and yeah, it's weird that it's been such a long time since the first one came out, but. I guess I'd rather wait a while and get a sequel than never get a sequel, I guess, at the same time. So,
and they do that thing too. Like the first one, they demonized the wolves. That was like not the wolves, the predators.
Right.
That was kind of like the whole premise of the show, and it looks like they might be like doing the same thing, talking about the snakes. So I'm interested to see where the story goes, and kind of like what the the moral of the story is. So I don't know. I'm excited about it.
I'm sure Disney usually does good work with their animated stuff, and if this is like the first one, then we're in good hands. So November 26th of 2025, Zootopia 2. Maybe it's a theater trip for Baby B. I don't know. We'll see. All right, moving on. We've got we're getting out of animated land. We're going to go over to the live action side of things for a big, bold, beautiful journey. Coming to theaters September 19th, so it might be in theaters right now when you're listening to this. Who's to say? Stars Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, and they're going through some doors and shit, man. Seeing life, and I don't know. We don't know exactly what it's all about, but What do you think about a big, bold, beautiful journey? Are you ready to take this little journey with them?
Tom Hiddleston was in a movie that...
That's right. Yeah, we talked about it, but we didn't probably watch it. Was it
I never watched
The Life of Chuck? Kind of gave similar vibes as this sort of thing. A
little bit.
I can see that, yeah.
And I actually I sent Sarah the trailer, so I have a shit ton of drive-in tickets. So
That's
maybe
right. Yeah.
we get a babysitter and go to a drive-in and watch a little bit of a romantic, heady kind of thoughtful movie. It looks really good.
Right? Yeah, like it feels like it has a lot of potential. I don't know if it's going to realize that potential necessarily, but I like the idea behind it, if that makes sense.
Right. No, for sure.
It definitely has it feels like a big swing. You could make this movie in a very traditional sort of rom-com-y sort of way, but to add the fantastical elements in it and make it seemingly such a major focus, definitely makes it pretty interesting and stand apart, I think, from obviously, again, the usual crop of movies that may hit on this similar kind of subject matter. So, and I like Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. I feel like those are, that's an interesting pairing there. Two really good actors. So, I hope that it works. I hope that
you've got to stick that landing, because if you don't, it could be a shit movie.
Yeah,
sure.
I think this only goes two ways. It's one of those kind of movies. There's no middle ground, because even if it is just kind of like meh, then like that's disappointing, because it feels like, oh well, if this was really good. So it's even like just being okay is
it's not
kind of yeah, right. That just means like, well then why'd you do all that, So I hope it's good. It's definitely got that potential. It obviously remains to be seen. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if there are any reviews on this yet. I don't know if it had any sort of. I feel like we've had a lot of movies recently that have had like film festival debuts and stuff like that. So we're getting some early reviews rolling in for some things, but I'm not seeing anything on the Wikipedia page. I don't know if that means they're trying to, conceal, this thing, it's as of now only a couple weeks away. So I don't know. But maybe they got something special, we'll see.
Time will tell.
All right. Well, maybe time will tell. Maybe you will tell me when we record sometime in the future after you've seen it at a drive-in. We'll see. I feel like I haven't been to the theater in a while, so maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to dust off the old AMC A-list. I feel like, what was the last thing I saw in theaters? I can't remember. I feel like we've been covering things that like I've seen, but I'd already kind of seen. So it's been easy enough to just record on those, just hop on without having to really think about it too much. But
right.
Anyway, well, we can move on to our lone TV show trailer for the episode, which is a new show starring Mr. Handsome Man, Glenn Powell. But what if he put some makeup on and made himself real derpy looking so that he wasn't Mr. Handsome Man and he was Chad Powers instead, star quarterback for some lowly football program, it would seem. Coming to Hulu some point this year. I don't know if this actually had a date.
Is this a show?
I overlooked it. It is a show, I believe. I don't think it's... I guess I should fact check that before I just throw out some bad info. It is a show. It's going to be 6 episodes.
Perfect.
Which is this is a this is a show that the premise, I think, kind of inherently limits the potential of it. 30 episodes, even 20 episodes of this could feel, not so sustainable. But 6 episodes, I can get behind that. Actually, I feel better actually knowing that it is only 6 episodes. This is going to debut on Hulu September 30th. 2 episodes drop in that day, and then it'll be weekly through the end of October. So it'll wrap up by the end of October. I bet there's a part of this trailer that you really, really liked.
Yeah. They had they played Georgia. They were playing Georgia, weren't they?
Yeah. And Georgia won the national championship because Mr. Chad Powers or whatever his stupid fucking name is did some stupid shit dropping the football before the end zone,
Yeah. This looks incredible.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it in such a long time. I don't know. I would imagine I'd still enjoy it, but big fan of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay, yeah, right, and that literally gets name dropped in this trailer.
Yeah, big fan of like the comedy skits that they do, like on I don't know, like I feel like the guy the CrossFit guy will dress up as an old man and go do like pull-ups or something as an old guy, or or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that stuff's fun. And I think this looks. Who doesn't like Glenn Powell? I like Glenn Powell. Dude's fucking rocking it, dude.
He's kind of the it guy, but perhaps for good reason. I think, we haven't found any. The internet sleuths have not found a reason for us to dislike Glenn Powell. So I have to say, as of recording right now, I'm on the Glenn Powell train.
Yeah.
He's obviously had a pretty good run lately. I guess really probably since Top Gun, had Hitman, Twisters last year.
For sure.
The Running Man coming out this year, which is fucking cool. And I think he's like creatively involved in this, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think he co-created it. I think maybe co-wrote on some of it. So like he's now flexing his chops a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily highbrow caliber of writing in terms of what this show demands, but it's certainly relatable and it's fun. I mean, college football is fun. What if what if this guy goes back and pretends to be a different football player? I think it's like sort of also loosely based off of a Eli Manning skit or something. I don't think it was a commercial. I think it was literally like a skit for something, but
I think he did. I think Eli Manning did dress up and go like try out for college football or something like that.
Yeah, it did something. I don't know. Well, it sounds like maybe you're interested in watching Chad Powers.
Yeah, I think Sarah would like it too because it's all about college football. College football season's back, football season's back.
But football season is back. That's actually partially why I included it in here, because when we get into catching up, well, I'll be commiserating a little bit with certain things. But college football is back. The NFL is back. And it just feels good. We did talk about it a little bit, I guess, on the last episode, but you forget. You forget sometimes how good it feels. Even heartbreak, to quote Nicole, even heartbreak feels good in a place like this, College football, it's always got drama, man. The NFL's always got some drama, some big drama this week. But man, football, I'm going to talk about it. Maybe you'll talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it.
We might mutually talk about it. All right. Chad Powers. I think it could be fun. I think it really could be a lot of fun. And I do like Glenn Powell a lot. So 6 episodes definitely makes me
That's
way
easy,
more interested.
Dude. Easy.
And maybe wait for reviews to drop. But I can see myself having fun with this. Feels like a good fun show to just throw on and not think about it too much. So I watch too many other heady, serious things. This could be a nice break from all that, that doesn't need to challenge you, but maybe there is something, more to it potentially. We'll see. We'll see what Chad Powers is all about later this month, later in September. Now moving on, we're going to finish things in our trailer section with a couple of Netflix projects. Maybe, just maybe, one of these projects will supplant KPop Demon Hunters is the number one most watched thing on Netflix. Probably not the next one. Maybe the other one. Probably neither. But you never know. You just never know. Things take a life of their own, I don't think anyone would have predicted KPop Demon Hunters become the number one, watched thing on Netflix of all time. So these things work in funny, mysterious ways. So you just never know. But what I can tell you is this first film we're going to talk about is a movie called House of Dynamite. We have an official teaser for it. Again, coming to Netflix, although it will get a limited theatrical release a couple of weeks ahead of time. So limited theater release October 10th, followed by a full drop on Netflix on October 24th. This is from Academy Award-winning director Catherine Bigelow, who brought us films like Point Break, but more recently, The Hurt Locker. Well, I say more recently. That's going back almost 20 years, good God. More recently than that, something like Zero Dark 30. Oh, God, that's 13 years ago. Oh, God. She hasn't done a movie in 8 years. The last thing she did was Detroit, which I didn't see, and I think... I don't know. I don't think it did exceptionally well. I feel like it was reviewed fairly well, but didn't see it. But she's done some good fucking movies, that's for sure. And yeah, so House of Dynamite. When a single unattributed missile is launched at the United States, a race begins to determine who is responsible and how to respond. So I don't, we got, this is a very like stylish kind of teaser thing where it's not giving you the full plot details, but it is giving you a little slice and showing you like, look at this person. Rebecca Ferguson's here. Idris Elba's here. That sort of thing. Jared Harris is here. He's probably going to die. He always dies in these things, but that's how it goes. That's why he signs on the dotted line. What do you think? Are you interested in House of Dynamite?
This is the most... I don't know how the actual thing is going to be, but I can tell you that this is probably one of the best made trailers I've seen in a little bit. Pretty incredible fucking trailer. The whole Carl Sagan voiceover for the entirety of the thing.
Sure.
It was just... it was awesome. Very, 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 very awesome. Very much enjoyed that trailer. Or teaser, or whatever we call it. It's got a good cast. This is definitely something that I would enjoy seeing. It's something that I should be able to stream, yes, because it's a Netflix thing. So
October 24th, you can see it in theaters 2 weeks earlier if you feel so inclined. Have some spare time, as you typically do. You typically have a lot of spare time.
Yeah, got a lot
so
of
you definitely could do it. But yes, you could just wait those measly 14 days and check this out on Netflix October 24th. A few days after your birthday.
There you go. I won't be going to see fucking Mortal Kombat, will I?
So. You're goddamn right you won't. WB, fucking with your shit, man. They're ucking with your shit. Those mother uckas. All right. Over at WB, what are they doing? Still a bit of a bummer. But I guess maybe we'll have some other movies to watch at home that may fill that void. And one of those might be a House of Dynamite. But another one, we have to wait a little bit longer for it, to be fair. Something like December 12th is roughly when you'd have to wait until. But Wake Up, Dead Man. Wake Up, Dead Man. A Knives Out mystery. Excuse me, full title. Ooh. We got an official teaser for this as well. Also coming to theaters November 26th. Daniel Craig is back as Benoit Blanc. Rian Johnson is back writing and directing, and we've talked about it before. He's brought a big ensemble cast with him, as he is wont to do with these Knives Out joints. Could have called it that. They could have done the Spike Lee thing, a Knives Out joint. That'd have been fucking cool. A Knives Out mystery. Get rid of that shit. We got a date announcement, I feel like maybe a month or two ago, that gave us a little slice of it. More, it was just like, look at all these fucking names, on the screen. This is definitely a way more of a introduction to the characters, the setting, the tone, the feel, and I have to say, Netflix's marketing team is to me crushing it, because that last trailer was incredibly stylish. Definitely left me very intrigued by it. This teaser, I didn't need to be sold on this movie. I'm already sold by the idea of more Rian Johnson, Benoit Blanc, team up murder mystery investigations. But goddamn, this got me pretty fucking excited for this movie. That waiting a few months at this point, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I think I might have to take that 14-day advance and go see this around Thanksgiving, November 26th, man. So, how you feeling about Wake Up, Dead Man? You pretty pumped for this?
I am. Yeah, I feel like the last murder mystery deal we did was the Halloween with the big mustache, Hercule.
Oh, that we would have covered. Yeah, we did. What was that one called? It was called A Death on the Nile. Nope, it was the one after that. A Haunting in Venice.
That's it. Yeah. And that one was totally fine. But.
Yeah,
this is
it doesn't hit quite the same as these ones.
Different caliber. So
that first Knives Out, I think, still just incredible. Glass Onion was, I think, very good. I don't know if it's quite Knives Out tier, but very good. Also very different, sort of apples and oranges kind of situation, despite the
this one
common
looks
thread.
Really good though. So I don't know. Here for it. It looks like it definitely has its own vibe. And I don't know. I think it's going to be totally freaking awesome. It's a $500 million streaming powerhouse of an IP.
That's true. Netflix has got,
don't forget,
seemingly infinite money to spend.
$500 million they paid for these 3 movies. And I think they're going to get their money's worth. I think they're. I don't know why Knives Out doesn't make any of your top watched Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. Glass Onion wasn't there. It will come up in a relevant figure in our box office breakdown, I will say. But no, I don't know. I mean, they're PG-13. They're obviously not. I mean, they're not kid friendly, but also there was a lot of the like. It's no different than like Red Notice in terms of like the type of audience that it could appeal to. Like obviously, K-pop Demon Hunters probably has wider appeal than Wake Up Dead Man does, and I think that's not a controversial statement to make. But man, yeah, especially like the third time around, like I feel like Glass Onion, even if I don't think it was quite as strong as Knives Out, I think very much proved that Rian Johnson had a good thing going, that Knives Out wasn't a fluke. And, people that have watched Poker Face, I think it's been kind of, the same story. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to see this crack that top 10. I guess it's not a TV thing, so they can't knock out one of the 17 seasons of Squid Game that's on there. But, yeah, I'm very excited for Wake Up Dead Man. I just love I love the tone, the feel, the vibe of this trailer. I hope that certainly translates to the movie. I feel like Rian Johnson's the type of filmmaker that's, I feel like, pretty hands-on with like obviously this is Netflix's marketing team, but theoretically is getting the seal of approval from Rian Johnson before it goes out the door. So I just like the font, I don't know, this
all of it.
The holy shit, like the humor still feels very
what's that guy? What's the
in line with everything? But
what's the? I don't know what he is. I don't want to act like I know whether or not he's a deacon or bishop or whatever. He's probably not a bishop, but I'm talking about the guy.
Yeah.
He's not the main guy because the main guy dies. The main father or priest. Or
Josh
whatever.
O'Connor is the actor. You probably saw him most recently in Challengers. When you watched that, he was one of the.
Yeah, he killed it in that movie. That's
two tennis players in there.
That was an awesome fucking movie. That movie was.
There's also the younger King Charles and The Crown, which I spent many seasons, many moons watching. I guess probably last year at this point. But he was very good in that. Very good in that. I've liked him in everything I've seen him in, which is, to be fair, not a lot. But he's been good in everything. So I'm excited to see him here. And I'm just excited for this movie. I'm excited for Wake Up Dead Man. I do think I would like to see this in theaters. I think I saw Glass Onion in theaters, if I'm not mistaken. It's the kind of movie too that, like, because of the murder mystery side of things, like, I don't want to have distractions at home. I'm liable to look at my phone. I want to just like sit in a dark enclosed environment for 2 hours and like just fully absorb it and process it without having the temptation to just be like, what if I checked a football score right now? I don't want that. I want to have that sort of physical separation from things. So,
and any more of the past two movies I've seen in theaters, it's actually kind of, it's actually really nice to experience, like with a good audience. It's nice to experience a movie.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And this is the kind of movie that it should be twisty, it should be turny. Yeah, people in the audience should be audibly reacting and gasping and doing all the right sort of things that you'd want out of a movie like this. Like, I feel like Glass Onion was very much that, with people getting shot, but then maybe it was like a little book, or like, I feel like it really was very fun the way it was crafted in terms of how an audience is going to react, how you as an audience member are going to react, and then feel when things are flipped around and you're like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Okay. So I'm hoping for more of the same with this one. And I am confident at this point in Rian Johnson's abilities. So that's Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. And that, my friends listening, is it for trailers. That's it for trailers. It is time that we move on and talk K-pop Demon Hunters. We've waited since June 20th when it came out on Netflix, and we were really anticipating it back then. But we waited a while because we wanted to make sure that everyone in the world had a chance to see it, so we could be validated in our excitement and love and enthusiasm for it. But goddamn it, man, we're going to talk about it. K-pop Demon Hunters. It is streaming exclusively on Netflix. You can watch it right now. in regular version and sing-along version, all available from the comfort of your home. It was written by Danya Jimenez, Hannah McMichan. I should have looked up how to pronounce these names, and that's not even a Korean name. Oh boy. Maggie Kang and Chris Applehans, directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehans. Stars Arden Cho, An Hyo Seop, Mei Hong, Ji Young Yu, Yeonjin Kim, Daniel Dae Kim, Ken Jeong, and Lee Byung Hun. It's about a world-renowned K-pop girl group, Huntrix, who balance their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as Demon Hunters. Ooh. Box office breakdown time.
Womp, womp, womp. Womp, 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 womp.
This is the point where if I had either some Huntrix talent or some Saja Boys talent, I would do like a little sing-songy version, K-pop singy-song version of it. But I don't have the liquid courage to even attempt it right now to keep it 100 with you and our listeners. And I think everyone's probably going to be like, you know what?
It's for the best.
I think that's fine. I think it's okay. You don't need to sweat it, my dude.
It's for the best.
So yeah, why are we doing a box office breakdown for a goddamn Netflix movie? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, I guess we did sort of talk about a lot of movies are getting limited theatrical releases. This was not that. This went straight to Netflix on June 20th, as I said. It did not get a theatrical release until August 23rd and 24th. It was a 2-day theatrical event. The sing-along version was released in theaters, and that was after, obviously, it had become a big enough phenomenon that Netflix decided, shit, maybe we should make some money by putting this in theaters, and it was a great decision for them.
Amazing.
That weekend, 2 days, brought in about $19.2 million, which was, believe it or not,
nuts, dude,
good enough for number one for that entire weekend, despite not having the third part of the week, the third day of the weekend to count towards its tally. It still managed to top Weapons, which I think was in its second or third weekend at that point. It dethroned Weapons. It took over the number one spot for that weekend. Obviously, it was just a 2-day event, so it promptly dropped out of the top, however many for the box office after that point. But you gotta say, I mean, for something like this, that's a big deal. And it was a big deal because it was the widest release for a Netflix movie. And by virtue of it becoming that number one over the weekend, was actually the first Netflix movie to ever top the box office in the United States, believe it or not, which is pretty awesome. I think the last movie to really even place in terms of theatrical releases was Glass Onion, which we've talked about obviously a little bit, because I think that had a little bit more of a concerted theatrical rollout. I feel like Netflix put it in a good amount of theaters for a limited window, so it had a pretty decent window, and obviously a lot of excitement built up to it being the follow-up to Glass Onion. But yeah, that made about 13 million, it looked like, which was third for that weekend. So yeah, K-Pop Demon Hunters is it's a dominating force on the streaming side of things. It's a dominating force on the theatrical side of things, obviously in a very limited window. Maybe it wouldn't sustain that, but maybe it would, man. I don't know. That's it for the box office breakdown. We can also say in terms of the soundtrack, just throw out some pure fucking numbers. It's the first film soundtrack on the Billboard Hot 100 to have 4 of its songs in the top 10, which is quite impressive as well. So this is just a K-pop Demon Hunters world, man. We're just living in it. So my question for you, as we now turn to non-spoilers, is, Are you happy to be living in that K-pop Demon Hunters world? Do you feel like, oh, I get it, I am with the youths this time, or do you think, God damn, what are the youths on about? What's your feeling on K-pop Demon Hunters?
So we recorded the podcast with Enrique.
Yes, that good context to set up. He recommended it to us. I think at the time to be quite honest, we're like, mean, I've heard of it. I think maybe at that time Sarah's like students had were singing at her.
Talking about it, right? Well,
but yeah.
I think I had, I can't remember exactly. I think I saw it on a Sunday. Sunday for me, we do steak Sunday. I cook steak and, we drink some wine and we were looking for something to watch. Bennett was up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And, we turned that on. It's like, hey, your kids have been talking about this. And I figured maybe Sarah
so you intentionally turned it on. It wasn't Bennett was like, big flashy colors, I want to watch this.
No, definitely not. No. And I think he lost interest like halfway through. But I did not lose interest halfway through. Sarah, once Sarah saw what it was, she lost interest almost immediately.
She was out. Okay.
So right. I was very much on my own watching this thing. There was some animation style choices that I took note of in the very beginning.
So it's
so it's not like it's animated, right?
Yes,
like it's CG animated. And with the character design, you wouldn't think that there would be a lot of because I mean it's very much an anime. Feels like an anime, and it's written like an anime, and the art that we have here, you wouldn't think that it would have some of the animation tropes or the design tropes, I guess, that comes along with some of the anime. I think we talked about it before.
Some head bonking.
Yeah, and like the big nod, the big crying eyes, or like somebody cuts an onion, and then all of a sudden you're like the eyeballs get super big and waterfalls start coming out of the eyes, that sort of thing.
Right. Yes.
That's in this.
Right. And it's not all animated that way, but it is very much, you kind of get a traditional, more traditional looking 3D animation. And then what if we just threw in some of that shit on top of all that, just to really kind of pull it in a bunch of different directions in terms of style.
Yeah. And I was not here for it at the beginning. And well, to be frank, I don't know if it ever 110% like totally, it's not like, oh, I like those tropes now. It's not, that's definitely not the case. But as the movie progressed, it bothered me less and less. You know what I mean? Like it became something that I didn't really pay attention to a whole lot. When it was very overt, I noticed it. I'm like, oh, here it is, but it didn't detract from my experience a whole lot. And that's subjective. It's not something, a lot of people don't have an issue with it. I just find it obnoxious. I don't like it at all.
Pet peeve.
Yeah, pet peeve. Anyways, that is, and you kind of like have to tip your hat a little bit because they threw it in an animated, like the CG animated thing where it's not, where you don't see a lot of that. I think that may be present in that the Earworm movie. I haven't watched it yet. Studio Ghibli movie that came out that was animated. Came out during COVID times.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Where she's like she's in a rock band or something. That's animated.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's technically Ghibli, but I do know what you're talking about. But I very much Japanese.
I feel
animation.
Like that's got the shit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think so. Yes. I forget what that one was called, but I know we talked about the trailer for it. But I know what you're talking about. If I find it, I'll just randomly shout it out. But
yeah. But you have some awesome music. You have a pretty compelling story. You have rich characters. You have it's just it took me by surprise. Like I fully understand why people are, why it's creating as much noise as it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's story-wise, I feel like it's original story, the Demon Hunter thing is original. I think
just to interrupt, I think The Colors Within is the movie that we were just talking about.
What's it called?
The Colors Within. I think that's what we're thinking of.
With the Studio Ghibli one?
I don't think it was literally Studio Ghibli. I think it was just like Japanese, anime. They're just, obviously kind of resembles Ghibli, but maybe there's another Ghibli movie that you're thinking of. I don't know. Not to derail us and pull us in a tangent that we don't need to investigate, but I know we feel like we talked about the trailer for it. I don't think it was maybe
Earwig and the Witch.
Oh, okay. So we're just thinking of different things then. Okay.
Yeah, look at this one up.
Literally Earwig is why you said. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I didn't watch this one because I was so put off by the way that it looked.
Yeah,
it's very shallow.
It's
very, very shallow of me.
No, right. 2020. I think I forgot that this existed, but
it also got 28% Rotten Tomatoes too.
So perhaps you were justified in your feelings. Your gut was
this looks like
doing you a good service. Yes. Okay. The poster looks fine, but yeah, all these stills from this movie it kind of looks like the first Toy Story, but fucked. You know what I mean? In terms of like because it's like sort of like an older looking animation style. Anyway, we were thinking about totally different things. So I guess disregard what I was saying. You were correct. I thought you were talking about, an animated music thing, which we never saw. But either way, I sorry to take everyone on that adventure. But anyway, I think you were saying other things about K-pop Demon Hunters that.
Yeah, I think the thing here to take away, I think the biggest thing to take away here is the music. The music.
Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah, sure.
Is awesome. Like even like up and like just by itself, extracted like separated from the movie. They're just
bangers, man. We said it already.
They're just bangers.
I don't know if we need to come up with different words for it, but
yeah, bangers.
And all around, top to bottom, I think every song hits. And I feel like they're all really fun, obviously, and like good fun. Like obviously they're K-pop, but there's kind of the rap elements to some of them, and like Soda Pop is a little bit more catchy earworm, not earwig, to be clear. Whereas some of it is like straight up like ballad-esque. Like there's like a big kind of solo song that we get towards the end of the movie, not to spoil anything, which is like very emotional and big in terms of sound, but wherever it goes musically, sonically, it's really fucking good, like, and to the point where so I watched this yesterday just to put that on the record. I am very fresh coming off of K-pop Demon Hunters, but maybe I was listening to the soundtrack today, in preparation in advance of recording, just being like, all right, I like it with all the snappy visuals and stuff like that, but does it stand up on its own? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So yes, I will fully agree. Put aside my other thoughts on the movie for now, but I will fully agree that certified bangers pretty much top to bottom on this soundtrack, which is probably why it's charting as well as it is, just because it's fucking good, man. And I feel, and Anna and I talked about this a little bit, it's like, it's kind of crazy that this movie came out in June, because I feel like it didn't really take off culturally until a little bit after that. So it was just kind of like, all right, well, what was it like, that really made this breakthrough in such a big, massive way? And I think the music's probably what it comes down to. Anna was like, well, probably was in a TikTok and then blew up. And then from that point, everything gets crazy from that point. But I don't know if it's literally that in terms of how it happened, but I do think the music is probably the one thing that, I don't know, you might have some certain feelings about very expressive anime tropey styles of things happening in terms of, but man, like this music drives the movie, and it's I guess it's a musical. I think that's probably certainly fair to put out there, but it's the kind of musical where it's musical artists performing songs for the most part. And obviously it's not just them up on a stage performing songs, but it's integrated in the movie in a way that is very natural and seamless. And it's not characters singing dialogue at each other for 2 hours. Right. Some musicals are that, and that's the sort of thing that I think I'm fine with. I'll happily watch Hamilton, for 3 hours, where most of it is dialogue in song form or rap form. But that obviously your mileage may vary in terms of whether that's the sort of thing that might appeal to you. But I think as a musical, it works very well structurally, like
music
and again musically.
Too, though. You know what I mean? Like
it is. Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
But all like I think a lot of the music feels almost like a music video.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's good fun.
Good fun. Had a good fun time with K-pop Demon Hunters, huh?
Yes. How about you?
Right.
Tell me about your experience.
I had a blast with it. I watched it yesterday, as I said. We made the executive decision. All right, we're going to lock it in. We're going to record on it. I guess I better watch the damn thing. I feel like going into it, I don't know that I ever watched a single trailer for this movie. I don't think that we talked about a trailer on the podcast at all in the lead up to its release. We were very much sleeping on it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of nice though at the same time, man. Like we talk about trailers. We watch, mostly things that we generally think are going to appeal to us. Sometimes they're disappointing. Sometimes they meet or exceed expectations. And sometimes it's nice to just watch something that you don't know what the fuck you're about to get into. Mm. And that's kind of what this movie was for me, was kind of a diving into the unknown. Like, okay, it's K-pop. I get that. They're going to hunt some demons. I can gather as much from the title. And I'd seen, some screens, some of the, the poster and stuff like that. So I had a sense of certainly the general animation style. But other than that, I didn't really know it. I hadn't really listened to a lot of the music. Maybe I've heard snippets here and there. And I know Enrique did very specifically mention the Soda Pop song, which is catchy as all hell, of course. But I pretty much from minute one kind of found myself thinking, oh fuck yeah, this is awesome. Like this is so much fun. It is. And I think that's probably the number one compliment. Well, no, the number one compliment is the music. We already talked about that, and I kind of added on when you brought it up. My number two compliment that I'll pay is this is an incredibly fun film. It's very snappy. It's very visually interesting. The music video comparison is definitely true, but they've got action sequences that are very well choreographed and very fun to watch, and but then it's very much not that a lot of the time. It's such a really interesting blend of different things, and it all works really well, and tonally it's all very fun to watch, and I guess more than that, it's just legitimately fucking funny.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think some of the literal scripted humor is very funny. There's a tiger character which I very much appreciated. His particular involvement, and just the design alone is a source of humor, but then the interactions and everything that I thought all that was just fantastic. The anime stuff, the eyes turning into different objects, or the way that all that was done. So I understand it's a pet peeve for you, but I thought it was hilarious for me here. And what I will say is I don't know that it always works for me, but I think it worked here, especially because it's so at odds with the other animation style. I think if your animation style is already kind of anime as fuck from the beginning, sometimes that can get a little tiresome when it, just continues to lean into, that sort of thing. So here it kind of I liked how exaggerated it became, because it felt like such a juxtaposition to the regular animation style, which I liked. I think the 3D animation style works, but then to kind of just paint, these ridiculous faces and just, I don't know, very, very, very comical. I thought that was just a great source of humor for me personally.
There's one sequence in particular that I very much enjoyed. I very much enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. I think there's one that stands out to me too. We'll see if it's the same one or if there are different moments that we reacted to. But I think this movie tells you pretty early on what it is. It doesn't hide the ball in terms of this is going to be over the top, ridiculous, kind of anime as fuck in some ways, but not in others, and I don't know. I just pretty much from minute one, like I said, I kind of knew I was locked in, which is, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, It's kind of just like, all right, you go in, you've heard a lot, people are watching this shit. People think it's this obviously very popular. People are enjoying it. And theoretically that's for a reason, but I don't always, like the same things that other people like. So, but it was kind of nice to just be part of the pack, of just being like, oh, I get it. And again, it's really fun for someone like me who's probably not, I don't know, K-pop Demon Hunters, like, I don't know. I mean, I like animated stuff. I like Japanese music, which is not, I don't listen to K-pop, I don't hunt demons in my spare time, maybe I could, but I don't. But, there's things about this that, like, don't outwardly seem like a thing that I would really, really dig. But man, it's such a fun blend of elements that it works really, really well. Beautiful animation. This is, so weirdly enough, this is actually Sony. This is a Sony animation, which is, so it's kind of an interesting thing. Sony Pictures Animation made this. That's the team that made the 2 Spider-Verse movies, that made, like Hotel Transylvania, Mitchell's versus the Machines, going back to COVID times, which is very good. And certainly, I think animation-wise, you can see some of that inspiration in the styling of this. I think it's a very colorful, unique style of animation that looks pretty high quality, I would say personally, and feels high quality. But Sony sold off the rights to this movie to Netflix, which is, with the benefit of hindsight, maybe not the smartest idea. I think they sold it for like $100 million or something like that. I don't know exactly what, I can't remember. I've seen the figures. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. But they sold it for like a flat fee. Basically, they cut themselves out of any potential profits from it. So Netflix certainly is the one that's obviously standing to benefit from it. And so it kind of just does feel like here we go. Sony's on their, shit again, fucking themselves over. We got to spend the money on Morbiuses and Madam Webs, and let's sell off our K-pop Demon Hunters thing that's going to make us, a gajillion dollars. But I do think there's probably a fair question of, well, if Sony doesn't sell this to Netflix and it doesn't come to Netflix, does it take on the same level of traction? Like if this gets dumped in a theater in March, April with just regular Sony marketing behind it, are people, is this going to blow up in the way that it does? And I think probably not. It's probably my general sense is I think that this was just kind of a perfect storm of it being widely available, freely available, easily accessible. Everyone has Netflix, or at least has access to Netflix, despite their, you're not at your home. This is not you. You're not using this, kind of, password sharing crackdown bullshit. So I don't blame Sony, but on the other hand, it's got to suck. It's got to
at least make $100 million, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. It's so hard to predict. I mean, it's hindsight's 2020. Obviously, when you're thinking about something like this, but yeah, if you're Sony, you got to kind of feel like, fuck, because this is probably the start of a franchise. Let's be honest. And we'll talk about that more in spoilers. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would be really curious to visit an alternative version of history, where, November 2024 was different. Oh no, that's not what we're talking about. Where, where K-pop Demon Hunters got a theatrical release and we got a, like, what does that look like? I'd be really curious to see if it blows up. Are we covering it? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a very valid kind of inquiry, but I don't know. I guess we'll just never know. And Sony will just have to, mourn perhaps what they lost, but so it goes. Let's see, other thoughts. Love the animation, the style, voice acting is really fucking good, top notch. Like, everyone kind of fits their characters to a T, and I think just story wise, I think it, it's I think a pretty surprisingly deep movie for something called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
This movie could totally get away with just being a fun romp for an hour and a half, but I think the fact that it takes the time to give these characters a lot of personality and a lot of character and produce like a sort of meaningful story around it all, it's all very impressive. It's all very impressive. And again, I don't know, it feels like this could be an easy punchline to a joke of just like, oh, K-pop Demon Hunters, typical, sort of animated crap for kids, but it's really not, I mean, it's so funny to live in a world where K-pop Demon Hunters is the fucking thing that we're talking about. I can't even wrap my head around it, but
definitely an alternate timeline we're living in.
Yeah, we're in the alternate timeline is probably what what happened, but I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I can see myself watching this. Maybe not again and again and again obsessively, like probably a lot of people will, like a lot of people have been with the soundtrack. But I could definitely see a lot of rewatchability here, a lot of entertainment value, and I think, again, we'll talk about it more, but a lot of potential for more in this vein, continuing this world. I think definitely feels like a really interesting starting point is kind of my sense of it. So with that said, I guess we could do a recommendation. I guess we got to scale this back to, hey man, should you watch this on Netflix or not? Which is, I guess we could do the very yes scale. We haven't really done that in a while. If I can remember all the 5 tiers, or we could simplify it. We can do a binary. Go. Should you stream this or not? What do you think? How do you want to play it?
Yeah, to stream or not to stream, I feel like is the question.
All right, to stream or not. That's what Shakespeare posed once upon a time. He said to stream K-pop Demon Hunters or not to stream.
That is the question.
That is the question.
Yeah.
Well, what say ye on this front?
You should fucking stream it.
All right.
You should stream it. I was trying to think of a wordy way to do it, but I think that this is a cultural phenomenon that isn't unwarranted, right? Like it's of good sound merit. It's good. It's a good thing.
Yes,
and I think it's worth watching. So, just stream it.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if you haven't watched it already, what are you doing? I thought we were the last people on Earth to come to K-pop Demon Hunters. Why didn't you listen to Enrique when you listened to our Fantastic Four episode? You didn't listen to our Fantastic Four episode? Well, that was your first mistake. Oh, it was 3+ hours and that was too long for you? Well, that's why we put the little, the time things in the description so people can skip around. I forget what they're called. Well, no, in all seriousness, yes, I think definitely give this a watch. I think, I always feel like I always like give myself like plausible deniability or give myself a little carve out. If you don't like it, don't fucking come at me, bro. It's okay to not like a thing. Like, you don't have to like be like, you recommended this thing and I didn't like it, so I'm taking it out on you. I blame you. I blame you, sir, for the hour and 35 minutes that I spent on that when I could have been playing Wordle or, Marvel Snap. It could have been reading a book. People don't do that these days, so you probably wouldn't have been doing that. I would check it out. I think you might be surprised is my honest assessment. Anyone that's listening is just like, I don't know, man, K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know. I think there's more than meets the eye, with something like this in terms of just like what you expect for this and like, why is it so popular? Isn't it just for kids? And it's like, it is for kids, but man, it's also for adults. I think it really has a wide audience that it can cater to. And I think it threads that needle really effectively of just bringing something that's just a really, really incredibly entertaining package. I mean, just so much fun. I can't say it enough, just how much fun this movie was for me. And I don't know. I hope Netflix, puts it out on 4K at some point, just because I'm just like, I'd love to have something like this in the collection, but we'll see. If nothing else, I will probably continue to subscribe to Netflix until I die, or until Netflix dies. So I guess theoretically I should always have access to K-Pop Demon Hunters as long as Netflix isn't selling the right stuff themselves. But, I hope they don't run this franchise into the ground at the same time. If it indeed becomes a franchise, which certainly has the potential for that as well. It's kind of the natural consequence of a thing becoming as popular as the business side of things, of more, at the cost of, not really putting the same amount of love and attention and craft into something like they did with this, clearly. But man, we live in a world where K-Pop Demon Hunters fucking slaps, and there's just no way around it. And you know what? You can't be mad about it. You shouldn't be mad about it. Just embrace it. Give it a chance. Check it out on Netflix. It's pretty low stakes. So yeah. Give it a chance. Give K-Pop Demon Hunters a chance. And I think that, I don't know, man, before long, you're going to be singing about soda pops and how golden you are and taking some takedowns. I think it's going to be happening to you. It's been a day for me. But I'm fully a stan at this point, I think. So, anyway, do you want to do some spoilers for this movie?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Full spoilers for K-Pop Demon Hunters. All right. So I feel like let's get the head bonking shit out of the way, or whatever, however you want to.
Yeah, favorite.
What was there was the moment where it worked for you? What was that?
It was in the doctor's office.
Oh yeah, that was great. I love that. So
he's got the big eyes.
The big eyes. That was very funny. Yeah. Well, I liked the he looks at everyone, and then he finally gets to Mira, and she resists it, and he's just like pops back like, oh, I thought that was very funny. I lost my shit when they first encounter the Saja Boys, and they see the guy with abs who's fucking.
Oh Abby. Yeah, it's funny.
And the eyes, I think, slowly turn into abs, and then they turn into corn, and then they're like, their head like turns red and they explode and it's popcorn. So incredibly fucking over the top and ridiculous. But because it's so incredibly over the top and ridiculous, I couldn't help but just fucking lose my shit. Because it's so, I don't know, it's so over the top. I mean, and you get like shades of it before. Like I feel like when they're in the plane, like it kind of starts in like a serious sort of thing, and it's demons, and then like it gets very fucking silly right off the bat, in terms of like kicking that action sequence off, which was, I don't know. It tells you what it is pretty early on. I think, I guess, take it or leave it. Maybe if you're 10 minutes into this movie and you can't possibly fucking bear it, I guess I don't know that the rest of the movie is going to convince you. But there's some good shit in here, so maybe
it's a little romantic, little like redemption arc. That's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's depth here, man. I think to all of them, and obviously Rumi, is concealing the demon side of herself, and that's it's like a nonchalant kind of like drop, like I feel like 20, 30 minutes where it's just like, oh shit, she's got some demon markings. That's okay. Interesting. And it doesn't like fully, totally explore, obviously, like, that, she has a demon father. There was definitely points in this movie where I was expecting more follow up on that, particularly like a twist, type of thing. But, that didn't quite happen, which is fine. Room to explore that in the future, obviously. But I feel
I thought it was going to be there for a little bit. I thought that the main demon.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be her dad.
Yeah. So Anna had the same thought, and she mentioned it to me, and so then it stuck in my head, and then I was just like, wow, this is gonna.
That's gonna take a weird turn, man.
All right, because the first time she sees him, she's like, "Ugh, boys," and then she's quickly got the anime eyes herself. And so,
but it's not unlike the anime thing to kind of throw that curveball in there.
I know, yeah, but then you have to navigate that, and is everyone over the top throwing up Ace Ventura style? Like, I don't know, man. We don't need that, So I'm glad they didn't go that route, because that would have been
a little weird,
a bit weird, and we don't need that energy. I did think. I mean, I don't know what the hell the big demon Gima. I don't know exactly how they pronounce it, but the ruler of the demons. Also, maybe he's involved somehow. Didn't really get that. What
else? There was what else is in the spoilers here? Favorite song? What's your favorite song?
I've only had a day to really think about this, so I think Golden is probably what
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think probably right now. Check back with me. And some time, once I've had an opportunity to listen to the soundtrack 3,000 times, I might feel differently. I mean, look, Soda Pop is a banger. I think it's probably the catchiest overall. But I think as a song, like composition wise, I think Golden is just like lyrically and again sonically just like really, really nice. Like really nice, and like just has those big moments that are just epic. So what about you? Do you have a favorite?
Favorite song? I would say that the favorite song would have to be Golden's really good. That last song's really good too, though.
Like the solo song, like where she's like kind of finding herself. Yeah,
that one's good.
I think that one's called "Free," if I'm not mistaken.
God, that's it. I don't know if I can choose it. I've only seen it the once, and it's about a week ago.
Right. Yeah.
And I have not listened to the soundtrack since. But Golden's really good. Have you seen all the people on like the YouTube shorts singing it? They have like famous K-pop artists like doing covers of it.
Oh, that's cool. No,
they crush it. They're such good singers.
I'm so new to all of this that I'm kind of on the outside looking in still. So I've yet to fully immerse myself in the K-pop K-pop fandom, but also K-pop Demon Hunters, specific fandom. So I need to start searching for it on YouTube, so the algorithm will start suggesting the shit and feeding it back to me, and then it'll just be an endless cycle of me listening to shit and different versions of it. I don't know. No, I haven't though. I might check that out though. Who's your favorite member of Huntrix, or the Saja Boys, or both? Or who would you vote for in the Idol Awards? Who would you vote for? Are you a Huntrix guy?
I mean, there's if it was the two bands against each other, battle of the bands.
Yeah, what would you do? And there wasn't some interpersonal drama, happening with one of them being half demon.
The boy band. I feel like the boy band's got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now individually, I think that the main girl is probably probably my favorite.
To be fair, the boy band, they're all demons, so we're not really supposed to like them. Obviously one of them, he's maybe...
Yeah, he's making the turn.
He's working on it. He's done some things he's not thrilled about from his past. Many hundreds of years ago, he was a real asshole towards his family, to put it mildly, and fucked them over in a big way, and signed, sold his soul to the devil, that sort of deal. But he's making amends. He's making amends, man. And it's touching. Here's my question for you. Another question. I have many questions, apparently. Any tears? It's an animated movie. Did it elicit a tear or two at any point?
Not this one. Not this one. Okay. But I will actually. You know what? I don't think that's true. I think I did. I did get teary-eyed.
Okay. All right.
I got teary-eyed when. I think I got teary-eyed when she went to meet him. Does that sound right? At that point in the movie, I was a bottle of wine in, so it becomes
that always contributes a little bit,
But I think the cat creature sent her an invitation, the one that kept knocking over in the pot, and then she went and saw him, and that whole experience was pretty emotionally charged, right?
Yeah, well, and there's a few different meetings that they have, so I think, but they're kind of obviously developing this sort of relationship with with the enemy, who's maybe, you know, not pure evil. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely some moments there. I don't know that it did not shed any tears, I will say, during my first watch. I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, now that I'm like more invested in the world and the characters, I could see this on a rewatch actually having a little bit more emotional impact on me.
Yeah.
But I felt like the moment where Rumi's on stage and, you know, she's with the imposter demons who have, you know, they're like the forms of Mira and Zoe. Like, I thought, like, when she's like kind of exposed, you know, her demon markings are exposed. I thought that moment where she just feels so exposed to the world and you know, she's just getting taunted relentlessly by, you know, these women who, you know, she loves and has this really strong bond. Obviously it's not literally them, but, you know, her worst fears coming true. That to me felt like it was very heartbreaking, I think, you know, more than like I'm crying, but just like, oh man, like just what a fucking brutal moment.
Yeah, gut punch.
Yeah, definitely a gut punch. That was probably kind of like the biggest point in this movie where, like, well, this isn't fun anymore, you know. Everything else is so fun, and then that is a real gut punch that tonally takes you down from, hey, everything's great and, you know, fun songs, to holy fuck, this is just brutal. And then obviously that does kind of build to, you know, that solo song, I think, you know, where she's, you know, embraces the demon side of things and embraces her identity, and that's like really empowering and really interesting. And, you know, she's got this mom figure who, you know, obviously loves her and is trying to protect her, but, you know, is like going about it in a wrong-headed sort of way. And I think that's a, you know, very real sort of thing of parents trying to protect you, but not necessarily knowing what's best for you. And, right. You know, she, you know, the fact that she's in this position where she can't even feel comfortable to tell this truth about herself to her closest friends. I mean, I guess
something's not right. It's
definitely,
not nice.
I guess could, you know, there's some identity struggles. I think that, you know, if you're not thinking about it as my identity as a demon, my identity as maybe something else that's not totally socially acceptable in the real world. I think there's some strong parallels you could draw from, you know, what this movie is talking about. You know, I think that's really, really powerful, really, really compelling stuff. And again, in a movie that's called KPop Demon Hunters, like, it's not taking itself seriously, but at the same time, it kind of is in many ways, you know, and it's treating you as an audience member seriously in terms of the thematic content, but just giving it to you in this sort of fun, you know, not in your, well, very much in your face in some ways, but, you know, like thematically, right. It's not, you know, shoving it down your throat. I think it's done in a really, really, I don't know, just impactful way, I guess, overall. And I liked, that's to me what really kind of stood out about something like this having so much depth, is just, you know, that it went through that. Something Ann and I talked about, definitely a lot of Turning Red vibes, I think, and not just, you know, the fact that this is an animated movie about, you know, like that, you know, sort of draws on some sort of Asian culture. That one was more like Chinese Canadian culture. This is very much Korean, so it's certainly not the same. But there is kind of like a lot of kind of crossover, you know, that one, you know, it's the girl suppressing the inner, you know, bear that she turns into, or red panda that she turns into, rather, you know, and having to hide that part of herself. It's literally, you know, a demon part of herself. So I do feel like there is some crossover there. That one also, I think, did have kind of the pseudo anime expressiveness in some ways, not to the heightened, exaggerated degree I think that you have in this movie, but certainly still present. That was a good movie, you know, and I think that just like drawing on very real topics, and, you know, again, there's that you could tell this story in a 2-hour fucking drama that you know is just makes you feel like shit and breaks you down and stuff. But I think to be able to tell that sort of thing in something that is so fun and snappy and colorful and vibrant and kid friendly, is really something special. Yeah, hats off to fucking Sony, for doing this damn thing in the first place. not hats off to them for, giving it to Netflix, but again, chicken or the egg kind of thing. I guess what they kind of needed each other to make it, get to this point. So, well, what do you think? Any other spoilery thoughts for you?
No, I don't think there are. I 100% co-sign the depth and the nuance that this movie takes with the content that it's trying to tell. I think I think it does a very good job of that. And bangers, good songs,
so
fun
many bangers.
characters. It's like a lot of times these I don't know. I feel like the big cultural stuff like Barbenheimer, that was warranted. That was an awesome cultural thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, both good movies, and more like than people certainly would have expected, coming in. But yeah, that was a fun cultural phenomenon and one that was just like that was fun to be part of.
So maybe culture gets it right more oftentimes than not.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. They've got it right the past couple times, anyways. I feel good saying that. But yeah, this one's a good one, and I'm happy that I hopped on the train. Because I haven't listened to the album and I haven't rewatched it, but it doesn't mean I haven't thought about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so and that's obviously.
I've recommended it, and people look at me kind of sideways. I'm like, listen,
hey. You just got to trust me. Trust me, source. Trust me, bro.
Exactly. Right. There's a reason why they could release a sing-along version and it make as much money as it does. You know what I mean?
Sure. Absolutely. So, yeah. No, and I don't know. I was kind of blown away. Very impressed by it. So much fun. Ann and I just had so much fun. And yeah, I get the side eye, and I get people that are maybe not literally giving me side eye, but are thinking, a sort of side eye, whatever the equivalent of that is in terms of thinking. Like, really, dude? Like, is this whole like you've committed to the bit? You've spent however many hours now committing to the bit of defending K-pop Demon Hunters. And it's like, nah, man. I think I was kind of incredulous even when Enrique was talking to us about it, where I was just like, really? I don't know. I guess. And I think at the time I thought it was a TV show, which I think is maybe because I was like conflating it with Demon Slayer, which is very different, but has Demon Slayer, Demon Hunters. There's at least some similarity there. I don't know. Yeah. Just, man, to just do what they did with this was absolutely outstanding. Yeah, that's probably it for spoilers, I guess, overall. I liked the bird in the little hat, too. I talked about the tiger, but I got to give a shout out to the bird with the little hat, which apparently he took from the tiger, which is, it's rude. But, well, I guess the only thing I guess I really wanted to talk about before we fully wrap up our coverage of it is what's the future? I think, I think a sequel is already officially in development, which is not a shock. I think totally valid, but what do you think? Do you want to see more from this universe, or do you think that you'd be good with the one and done here?
I don't know, dude. You just hate to see bad things happen to a good thing.
You of course run the risk of diluting things, making something that's worse. That's and especially given how popular it is, you wonder if you're going to be given the time and space to do it right. So I think that's a completely valid concern to have with the future of this franchise. But I personally think the potential is there as long as it is shepherded in the proper way. Like it feels like there's still a lot of story to tell. Even if it's a prequel, there's obviously past Hunters that they could go back to. You get stuff like we said, we didn't really resolve fully the thread of Rumi's mom and dad. Like, what's that story? What's their story? That could be a movie in and of itself. What's or even if you wanted to go to the boy band side of things, if you really wanted to get a fuller version Genu. You could do that, potentially, but I think moving forward, what's life like when you're half demon and accepted as half demon, but what does that mean moving forward? Like the threat is not gone. I mean, it's resolved in the sense that the Hun Moon is created, but like there's still obviously potential for more threats and stuff like that. Maybe there's something out there that's not just demons. Maybe there's, a bigger, badder threat. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential. I am imagining like video games too. I think could be pretty fun. Like I feel like Persona style video game could be pretty fucking cool, because it definitely has, to me, those sorts of vibes. And
sure,
I don't, I just think rhythm game times RPG kind of thing could be pretty sick.
Man, you're talking about the whole.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna like go crazy with this. I ain't buying merch and shit. I mean, I'll buy a 4K, maybe a vinyl if I can. But I don't know. I really, really like the world of it, and I like the design of it. I like I like all of it, I guess. But I think there's a really, really interesting universe at the core of this that I think I would like to see explored more, and I guess be careful what you wish for, of course, but I think there's a way to do that all right without just making a bunch of crap as fast as possible.
Well, yeah,
which is the Netflix way in some I think a lot of the time. Throw a lot of money at something and whatever, man, it doesn't really matter the quality as long as people, as long as we have eyes on. So do it right. I mean, I think that's obviously something that shouldn't need to be said, is like, I don't want to see a shit version of this. Like, that's not helpful. That doesn't benefit anyone. It as I said, dilutes the property, but man, that feels like there's a lot of room to bring more. I feel like a lot of times, I think maybe even like weapons, when we talked about it, very different thing as 28 years later was, mind you. Like, I don't need Weapons prequel. I don't need Weapons 2. I mean, would I watch it? Could it be good? Yes. But do I want it? Do I need it? No. In my bones, I don't. This, I think that this feels more open to it. More open to it. Like, don't fuck it, of course. But I think that it naturally lends itself to a future, unlike some of those other things that feel very much more like a one-off kind of deal that, you're only making more because it's popular, which is fair. That's the business side of things. That's how these things work, and I understand that. But anyway, any final thoughts for you on K-pop Demon Hunters?
No, that's it. I think I've said everything.
All right,
I've got it all.
All right, well, very good. I have one last thing to say. There's an Easter egg.
Do it.
If you Google K-pop Demon Hunters, if you literally type in K-pop Demon Hunters on Google, it gives you an Easter egg where it does a little ticker where it says couch, 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 which is great, because I related to the girls when they just wanted couch.
That is I very totally, much relate to that as well. Sarah hates that. That is me. Just want to sit on the couch.
Anyway, couch. All right, let's catch up on things. It's been less than a week, I guess, since we recorded last, to be fair. But maybe you've been doing some things. We got some football to talk about, but I guess
it's football season.
You want to should we just have a little football sidebar here?
A little about football real quick.
All right. Well, Georgia's 2-0, Florida's 1-1. Okay, let's move on.
Pretty much, yeah. I won money on that USF game though. That's pretty cool.
Oh, good. Good for you. Yeah, that was not a fun game to watch. Enrique came over, the poor bastard. God. Anyway, we suck again. And Georgia didn't look the sharpest.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. They should have scored a shit ton more points. I know that.
But a win's a win. A loss is a loss. At the end of the day. What I will say is Temple 2-0. They won back-to-back games for the first time in 4 seasons, which is pretty good.
Wow.
And Oklahoma's coming to town. I talked to Ann. I was like, we could go. They played the link. It's just a train right away.
Gotta go, dude. Gotta go.
So I might go. We might go. We might check it out. It's gonna be nice. It'll be like in the 70s, like a beautiful day. Go hang out, watch some football. So we might go check them out.
That'd
Temple seems to be like a moderately competent football program so far this year. They've definitely played lesser competition, but they've blown out lesser competition, which is like what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Florida. But so I don't know. We might give it a go. But yeah, no, so far, I mean, we're 2 weeks into the college football season. Things are interesting,
They're fun. It's fun.
So it's fun. It's just that time of year, and I think we said as much when we did 28 years later. But like the weather, it's like cooling down slightly. It's still hot, but it's it's pretty nice overall. Just everything
terrible.
starts to kind of feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more fun. Throw in some K-pop Demon Hunters, man. You got a stew going. Yeah. Any other football things? I don't know. College football. I don't know.
No, just every Saturday is football all day. It's a lot of fun.
What about Sunday? You've been watching football on Sundays? The NFL's back, man.
No, I've been watching any NFL. I don't watch a lot of that.
Oh, okay, just college football, man, through and through.
I feel like it's a different game. I tell Ben that all the time.
It's definitely very different.
Different game.
I agree with that. I appreciate both. The NFL's parody is certainly nice, and that any given Sunday, and like we see some crazy shit. I don't know if you pay attention, but that fucking Bills-Ravens game was bonkers.
Oh.
I think it was 40-25. Ravens were up with like 6 minutes to go, and the Bills ended up winning that thing 41-40.
Jeez.
And not by getting, it was like 2 touchdowns. They missed the 2-point on one, and then got the ball back and got a field goal in the last second. It was just, it was insanity.
There was a kid. I forget what team he played on. Set a record for longest field goal. It's like 76-yard field goal or some crazy bonker shit.
Well, I don't know about the regular season, but preseason, the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Cam Little kicked a 70-yarder, which is, I think, a record, but not officially a record because it was preseason. But yeah, he's got a fucking leg on him, which is pretty cool. As a Jaguars fan, I appreciate it because that team is liable to kick a lot of field goals. So anyone that has them in fantasy is probably feeling pretty good about themselves. But the Jaguars are 1-0. They beat up on the lowly Panthers, which, you should beat teams worse than you. It doesn't always work out that way, Florida. But, hey, man, NFL's good. College football's good. I just like it all. Baseball's a lost cause at this point. So we don't need to talk about that. Honestly, that's all I have on my end.
Sports.
I've been watching football on Saturday. I've been watching it on Sunday. We watched it on Thursday because that was the Eagles game. They played the Cowboys.
Yeah, they do.
They won. It was, I think, Cowboys probably pissed away a few chances to win that game. It was a very winnable game for them. But as someone that lives in Philadelphia, the city's mood, it swings wildly depending on how the Eagles do. It's so funny that Thursday, the energy is just so palpable. Everyone's wearing the Eagles shit. Everyone's wearing green. Everyone's fucking pumped. Friday, everyone's feeling good. They're happy. But after a loss, everyone's just fucking sad. That Monday or whatever it was, the Monday after they lost the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. God, it was like, it's like everyone's dog died. It was awful. Well, I'm not even like an Eagles fan. I'm like, I'm a pseudo Eagles fan. I support the Eagles. I'm happy when the Eagles win. Anna's an Eagles fan, so I support her. But man, everyone's dog died that day. It was rough. It was rough going for everyone.
Somebody spit on my boy too.
Some spitting going on. There was spitting in the Eagles game. There's spitting in the Florida game. Spitting's
what the hell's going on around here?
I don't know, man. It's the world's gone crazy. I mean, we knew that already, but too much spitting. Stop spitting on people. Don't spit on people. Spit on the ground. It's fine. Don't spit on people. I don't care if someone spits on the ground in front of you. It's not a reason to spit on them. It's gross. It's unsanitary. It's fucking rude as hell, man. That's what it is.
It's fucking rude.
Anyway.
What else was there?
I'm gonna say what else? What have you been up to?
We finished Secret Millionaire on Netflix.
Okay.
It was a fun little 8-episode deal. I am caught up on Alien Earth. Very much enjoy that.
How far into that are we now in the season? I'm gonna watch an episode tomorrow, but that's not helpful for right now.
Like 4 or 5 that sounds episodes.
Right. Cool.
And then I am. What else have we done? Oh, we went to a park in Lakeland, which was really nice.
Okay.
Bonita Springs or something like that. It was a very, very nice park. It's fucking huge. I felt like I walked like 10 miles. That was a pretty neat experience. They have a children's museum there with like a little bunch of STEM stuff and whatnot. But nice. I had a real good time. Yeah. I got a new painting for the man cave. My parents scored me a Star Wars painting of an Imperial. Well, I guess it would be the scene in A New Hope where I guess Vader is on a Star Destroyer and he's going to see the Emperor on the new Death Star. Or is that going to be?
Well, that would be Return of the Jedi then, right?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant, not Empire.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So it's of that. There's like a Star Destroyer like dominating the top of the frame, and then the Imperial shuttle's like underneath it, going to the new Death Star, and it looks like it's over Andor, or not Andor, but Endor.
Endor. Yes.
Endor.
Endor, not
Andor.
Why,
Endor.
Why are those one letter off? Don't worry about it.
It looks really awesome. Really excited about that. And I think that might be it. I think that's it.
I have racked my brain trying to think of ways that I could stretch this episode out to 3 hours, and I'm just coming up short. I just can't do it.
Drink another glass of wine.
I finished the wine.
We didn't even talk about it. What type of wine were you drinking?
Perfect. We can talk about that for an hour. Sommelier section of the podcast. It was a nice Chianti with some fava beans on the side.
I was gonna say I like it. I like Chianti too. That's real good.
No, that's Anna's preferred wine, and so we don't drink the wine super often, but it was very good. I think it's a Tomaiolo. That's her go-to brand. Okay. I've switched to a Wölffer botanical cider, which is like a rosé cider, which is good. I initially brought up like a mango cider, which was kind of ass that we brought up from Outer Banks, and I was like, no, you can't drink that. It just, it's putting that poison in your body. No, thank you. So she gave me this instead, and it is definitely better. I can say that much. I have been watching things, but they're going to come up probably on another episode real soon. So I can't tell you about them. I don't want to spoil the surprise. I'd have to kill you.
Show your hand. Yeah, I gotta get up on it. So yeah.
And I think we're going to take a couple weeks off. I think is probably the tentative plan for recording. I'm super behind on editing, which is also partially why I haven't watched a lot. Is because as of recording this, I'm very behind on editing things. So like, if you're listening, by the time you're listening to this, you're like, why did that episode come out like 7 months after the movie came out? Well, in the case of 28 years later, it's because we recorded it way later. Which, by the way, I feel like I'm getting like screwed over yet again. It's not a bad screwed over, but it's just like we record something and then something happens. Like we recorded Weapons, and then it's like, oh, by the way, it's on VOD in a week. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that whole go see it in theaters thing doesn't really carry a lot of weight these days.
We can't do it fast enough anymore. We can't do it.
With 28 years later, we had this whole thing of like, all right, well, should you buy it on VOD? Should you wait for streaming? And then it was just like, yeah, it might be streaming by the end of the year. September 20th, which again is probably in the past at this point by the time you're listening to this. So, hey, it's on Netflix now. If you haven't listened to our episode,
or not to stream,
I think our recommendation was, it's not going to be for everyone, but like go watch it on Netflix. And as we, you're not sold on KPop Demon Hunters, hey man, try on 28 years later for size, and then go listen to our episode. We broke it down pretty good, I think. So, so I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm happy that people will have access to it. I'm happy people won't have to feel like Andrew and feel like they need to throw $25-$30 at a movie just to see, what it's all about. We like the availability, but it's just
it's the timing.
The humor of the timing is always something. So anyway, all right, I think I've killed enough time. I've got nothing else to say on this point. I think maybe we should wrap it up.
All right, wrap it up. We shall. I was gonna say the things, but it's like, wait, I don't want to say the fucking things. Do you want to switch it up to $2.99? You want to go out? No, definitely
where
not.
You just
Mechanolith right. 2.0.
Yep, that's the thing. Mechanolith 2.0, etc. See the last episode for the full citation. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreview-repeat. You can get early access to all of our regular episodes. Here we go. I'm gonna make this episode longer artificially because Anna just walked in as I was recording that, and her mind is fucking blown that we're done already.
Correct. I was like,
yeah, 2 hours. It's a good.
Me to fold that load of laundry.
Yeah. There's a time warp that's happened. But maybe our listeners should get used to this sort of runtime as a preview of coming attractions.
You're actually done?
Well, I have to finish the thing.
You're actually done?
Yeah. No, this isn't a bit.
I thought you were like fucking with me. You were going to tell me like, "Oh, we're recording it now as a bit," or
yeah.
Andrew has to go, or
Well, we're gonna fill out the last hour to get it to the 3-hour mark by just adding the soundtrack of K-pop Demon Hunters to the end of
it. Or do the Vic Michaelis, which is just make the credits just the entire Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, we could. The entirety of Avengers Endgame will play following this episode. I don't.
It's a dropout or game changer.
Game changer.
There's you'll see it's in your.
Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm so confused.
We are still wrapping this up, even though, stay tuned for the 3 hours of content that follows. And if you can't access it, just use the Konami code or whatever, and you'll be able to access it on your phone. No, I already said that part. What did I say? Patreon. Maybe we'll do a bonus episode. Who's to say? But otherwise, you can find us on watchreviewrepeat.com. You can find us on Blue Sky. We're watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social, or just search for us and you can follow us there and be among our 3 to 4 followers that we currently have. We're working on it. All right. We had to make the transition from that other platform. It's a work in progress. I don't spend enough time with it, but it is what it is. But we're available there. We check it. You can get in contact with us there if you really want to. And we do post, when the episodes go up and all that. If you don't already see it in your podcast feed, you should subscribe, Apple, Spotify, however you listen. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/watchreviewrepeat. We're on Instagram at watchreviewrepeat. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can send those our way to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. I guess probably what I would solicit at this point, as I said, it's going to be a couple weeks before Andrew and I assemble. Hopefully there will be a window of time for our regular listeners to chip in. If nothing else, we can include it on a future episode. But episode 300, as I said, is going to be our third big milestone episode in which we talk about our 5 favorite directors. So if you, as a listener, have some directors that you feel strongly about, let us know about them. They may or may not be in our top 5. We may or may not talk about them ourselves, but we would certainly be curious to hear, the sort of directors that our listeners care about, that find something interesting about their filmmaking, whatever it is that draws them to their films. We'd love to hear about it. So if you have some directors that you want to shout out that we could potentially shout out on your behalf on that episode, great. If not, again, maybe on a future episode beyond that, depending on timing. But yeah. And of course, if you've been up to anything else, you got some K-pop Demon Hunters thoughts, send them our way. watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. Mechanolith 2.0. No, that's not right. Intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Actually, a 3.0 license. Very important distinction there.
Oh, 3.0.
Yeah. You fucking idiot.
That's
right. All right. It's episode 300 on tap. This is it for this era of Watch Review Repeat. we're bringing
Turning
you our 5 favorite directors. Then we're turning the page to episode 301 after that, and what's our future look like? Well, we'll talk about it more on the next episode. But again, don't fear. However many of you there are, don't. I don't want to hear how many actually. It's going to make me sad probably. It's going to be a new vision of Watch Review Repeat, and Andrew and I are excited about it. Very excited to. We're just really excited about it.
The wives are excited about it too.
The wives will probably appreciate it too.
The wives will be excited, absolutely.
So I guess until 300, this is where we leave you.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Laters on the Menjay.